Hi, thanks for tuning to another episode of Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Hey, thanks for checking me out. There are many channels. This one is mine. So where did I get that from, that phrase? There was a movie called Full Metal Jacket. And in the movie, one of the protagonists is laying in his bunk and he's been made to feel like crap, and he just falls back on, they rip him apart, his personality, and he just lays in his bunk and he says, okay, I'm going to just say over and over what they want me to do. I'm going to say there are many guns, this one is mine. So he's going to say the Rifleman's Creed over and over and over. I could give you a history of that, but in essence, he was just hypnotizing himself in a way and getting rid of his ego to just be more of a killing machine. So we're going to talk about the ego a little bit. Now, with the ego itself, it can be a negative that you hear a lot from spiritual teachers saying, oh, you have an ego. In fact, in a spiritual community, one of the swear words you could say to somebody else is, oh, you're coming from ego, ego, ego. So you'll hear this quite frequently, but people are misusing this. And I'm here to tell you that the ego's, it's not bad to have an ego, okay? From most, senses of the word. What the ego is the ego basically is your point of view. It's who you are from your point of view, and it's okay to self-advocate and say, hey, this is my point of view, and no one can ever say to you that's not correct. Okay, so when you say something, this is how I feel, this is how it seems to me from my point of view, no one can have your point of view, so that's the way it is. So that's a powerful thing to come to understand. But there are spiritual teachers that will, which is good to have a different point of view, to broaden your view. Yeah. And through meditation, we learn, a proper way to let go of the ego and broaden your viewpoint. So there are ways to do that. But people are afraid sometimes of even doing meditation. I have a Facebook friend that I said, I'll put some meditations out there, and they said they're afraid to do it. So the mind is telling them, watch out, you'll lose yourself, you're not going to be, existence anymore. That's just silly. So, but what a lot of other, negative spiritual teachers will come on and say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong for your ego, to actually control them. Like we had this Nivium, they started a cult, and then they wanted to, make women sex slaves and all this, and it's all connected with all these pedophiles and all this, horrible stuff. So the basis for a lot of religions are to, destroy yourself, destroy your ego, which is bad and good. So it depends on how you're coming at it, and are you preserving the essence of self within having your feet planted firmly on a firm foundation. So that's the important thing. So when you have, people that say, oh, you're coming from ego, you're coming from ego.
Prepare to turn left.
I'm following somewhere, so it's good we have a little time to chat. So when you're coming from your own point of view, that's the only way you have. Now, when you get to the point where you actually have dealt with the trauma, okay? You have to deal with the trauma that you have in the past.
Turn left in a quarter of a mile at the end of the road and follow CT 35.
So you have to, get rid of the trauma that you have within your, life. Otherwise,
turn left.
you're going to, be stuck in a more of a lower level vibration. So when you're, doing meditation, a lot of people say, I can't meditate, I can't do this, I can't do that, because I don't have, I'm stressed out, I don't have it. So what I was saying to people before is to do therapy. You need therapy. You need to do, and I have this therapy. I talked about doing, writing therapy, out writing poems, and that way you'll be, more in tune with your emotions, getting those feelings out there. So you won't be stuck in this lower level of vibrational frequency when you could be higher. So having yourself, the ego, it's okay to have an ego, okay? So your ego is your point of view. Everybody wants you to have a point of view. That's why you're here on the earth, right? To have your own point of view. But to understand others' point of view. So, there's introverts and extroverts. So there's a lot of more people are being extroverts and only, and they're only thinking about themselves and they're not thinking about others. I actually posted about something about how I'm teaching meditation online and to help control, negativity. And the people, somebody is two-dimensional thinking. Everything's left, right. Everything's black, white. Everything's, this way or that way. Pepsi, Coke. So they're like, well, negativity's good for you. And they want to argue with me, and I said, negativity's not really good for you, no. And they just want to argue. So people are contrary. There's contrary thinking. That's two-dimensional thinking. So that's thinking about things, whatever somebody says, then you want to argue about it. It's actually good for you to meditate, to lose, negative thought processes. And we, do that through meditation, you learn positive, reinforcement. And you're not trying to do mind control. You're not trying, well, it's mind control, but it's your own mind control. And you're trying to, it's an exercise in your willpower on, making yourself a better person. That's okay. It's when people are listening to other people and trying to lose themselves because they have a lot of self-hate because of trauma that happened in the past. So that's where we get a lot of this cults.
You will reach your destination in a quarter of...
And a lot of, negativity. So I just thought I'd talk about that a little bit. And about the ego. It's okay to have an ego. Don't worry about it. But, it's good to broaden your horizons and come from a solid foundation. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you. Bye-bye.